DB15 at the Devil's Backbone Project in Howell County, Missouri. Beautiful property. One of the kind of special tracts out here that already has a long private driveway and a cleared site, which is tucked well back into the property. Most of these tracts are heavily wooded, and this one is, but this does happen to have, if you look over here, the west side borders the easement road, and then the Mark Twain National Forest directly across the easement road. So I mean, you can walk right from your property into that national forest, and you've got tens of thousands of acres of additional land that you can use for hunting and camping and playing. And there are trails and rivers and creeks. But where we were originally going with that was from the west side where the easement road is. There is a private, I guess you call it a driveway, private trail that goes back easterly several hundred feet. I mean, 500 or 600 feet, and then you've got a cleared site at the end of the trail, which is large enough to camp or pull your truck and possibly your trailer, depending on how big your trailer is, your RV or whatnot, depending on how large it is. Again, maybe even for building a home or cabin at some point. You probably want a site a little bigger than that if you're building an actual home, but it's a good start. Before we go any further here, I'll quickly mention if you see the other trails and whatnot kind of crisscrossing some of the tracts at the Devil's Backbone and in the general area, those are just old existing hunting trails, essentially, back from when this was all one large tract. Those trails that you see crossing over the property, they are not easements. They're not for anyone else to cross over your property. They're just old, unused trails. The only access easement is the existing road at the west side of the property. So these trails, in this Google aerial, they kind of look like they're used, but this aerial has got to be several years old, because even when our guys were out there, those trails were really grown up with grass. They hadn't been used for quite some time, but they are apparent on this map. So I just wanted to mention that yeah, they're not easements. You could fence the sides and back of your property if you wanted to, certainly. So as we look at this, as we mentioned, almost all wooded, other than the driveway and the cleared site. You're going to have mostly hardwood trees. There is some pine in the area. You'll have some pine on this property, but mostly hardwood trees. Good mixture of timber, some mature trees, some younger trees. We didn't see any signs of recent logging. I mean, everything to our knowledge has been logged, but it's been years since there was logging done on these tracks out here. As far as the topography, I mean, we'll flip over to a topo map, but this particular track 15, lays extremely nicely. Let's go to the topo. Oh yeah. So all that the topo is telling us is that from the easement road on the west side, as you go easterly, it rises up gradually. You get a few hundred feet in. It essentially levels off to what appears to be a large level area. And then as you go east toward the east side, it slopes down gradually. So, I mean, judging by this map, it is a very, very usable property. If we just zoom out a little bit and you look at the topo for the rest of the area, this is pure Ozarks. So there's a lot of ups and downs and valleys and ridges and everything else. So to have a property that is majority level enough to be usable for a lot of different uses is pretty cool. We've sold 30 and 40 acre tracts that didn't have this much level usable ground, and we're not joking about that. That's very true here in the Ozarks and in some other places as well. So pretty cool to see that on this property. Obviously the National Forest bordering the west side is fantastic. You can see some of the forest roads on this map. Back to Google Map is okay. That shows one of the forest roads pretty well. Let's stick with this aerial. The access to the property, and you probably already know this if you've looked at Devil's Backbone tracks, you've got County Road 4870 over here. That's where the easement road starts. It goes west. You enter the tracts at the Devil's Backbone project, keep going straight west. and then you'll come to essentially a Y in the road, and that's where you'll take a right. And track 15 is one of what we would call the northern tracks. So they're on a little dead end road here. Basically no through traffic, going by this. There are 2 tracks past this. Kind of zooming in and out here. But extremely private. Having the cleared driveway is a huge bonus. That was done probably with the mulcher within the last few months, mounted on the front of a skid steer. So if you've seen those, they're pretty cool. But they kind of do leave some nubs behind, some ground level or within 4 or 5 inches. They'll leave some nubs. So if you have something with standard street tires, you've got to be really careful because the sidewalls can get cut. You're not going to be out here with a car. I'm sure you'll be out here with a truck or an SUV, and often they will have 8 or 10 ply tires. We have not had an issue coming and going on these sites, but most of the trucks we drive are 4-wheel drive and probably do have a little thicker tires than average, so be aware of that. But yeah, awesome track. Definitely check out the other videos. Very limited number of tracks out here at the Devil's Backbone, and when we have a special one like this, we do get pretty excited. So the site, the driveway, the fact that the guys were able to put it in several hundred feet deep into the property is awesome. I mean, we just love that. And then obviously the National Forest frontage. As we look at this, you can actually see there's a forest road just a few hundred feet west of the property, so that's kind of cool as well. But yeah, the hunting in the area, phenomenal. Obviously you can hunt on your own private tract, but you can also hunt in that national forest. So I mean, people come from all over the nation to hunt in the national forest in this area. You're going to kind of have first dibs because you've got your tract right here where you can set up shop and potentially do some food plots or whatnot. But you're also going to have the opportunity to go into the national forest and scout out all the best sites prior to hunting season. So pretty cool deal. Anyway, awesome tract, 15 at the Devil's Backbone project. It is surveyed with the corners marked. It's 5.65 acres. It's beautiful. So if you have any questions, let us know. Zoom in a little bit so you can get one more look at that. There we go. And yeah, we'd love to talk to you if this is still available. And if it's not, we'll let you know what else we have.